Hello children, we are going to start new chapter today, magnetism. Now, my first question is, what is a magnet? So if I ask you what is a magnet, you would most probably answer it that any substance which attract any piece of iron, a small piece of iron shows the attractive property is a magnet. Yes, that is perfectly okay. Magnet has the basic property that it attracts a small piece of iron. That property of a magnet is called the attractive property of a magnet. Alright. Now the magnet which are naturally occurring, which occurs naturally, that magnet is called natural magnet. The first known magnet were the pieces of lodestone. So the first natural magnet is a lodestone. An iron ore, what is lodestone? It is an ore of iron oxide, F3O4. Fine. Now the natural magnets are found in quite irregular and odd shapes. They are found in many shapes and of any size. They are not magnetically strong enough for use. Their magnetic strength is not strong. Therefore, for different uses, artificial magnets are prepared from iron in different convenient sizes and shapes, such as bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, magnetic needle, magnetic compass, etc. So artificial magnets are those magnets which are man-made, which are made by the man in order to increase the magnetic field strength of the natural occurring magnet. So two types of magnets are there. One is the natural magnet which occur naturally, and second is the artificial magnet. Artificial magnets are those magnets which are made man-made. Examples you can learn: natural magnet example is a lodestone, and artificial magnet examples are bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, magnetic needle, magnetic compass, etc. Now bar magnet, like natural magnet, the artificial magnets can also be of different shapes and different sizes. Fine. Now the bar magnet is like this. I'm drawing the shape of a bar magnet. This is a bar magnet. Now the first property of a magnet is that it attracts any iron piece or a steel. Fine, a magnetic material. Second is that whenever the magnet is suspended from a wire, it always rests in north-south direction. Now another thing before this is that every magnet has two poles. One is the north pole and another one is the south pole. The two ends of a bar magnet represent two poles. One is the north pole and another one is the south pole. Now if I hang this bar magnet with a support like this, now when it is hung, then this bar magnet keep on rotating and it stop at a point, and this north pole will point in the geographic north direction, and the south pole will rest in the geographic south direction. This property of a bar magnet is called directive property. Which property is this? This is directive property of a bar magnet. So I have told you two properties. The first one is attractive property. The property in which the magnet attract any other magnetic material. Second one is the directive property. When a bar magnet is suspended freely from a support, it always rests in the north-south direction. North pole in the north direction, south pole rests in the south direction. This you can see in the book also. This is a bar magnet. It is suspended from a support with the help of a silk thread. The two poles are there of a magnet, north and south. North pole is resting in the north direction and south pole is resting in the south direction, and this property is called the directive property. Correct? Another thing about the magnet, bar magnet, is that two like poles of a bar magnet repel each other. Two like poles mean north pole repel each other, south pole repel each other. They move far away. While two unlike poles, one north pole and other south pole. Unlike pole means one is north, another one is south. They attract each other. This is the another property of a bar magnet. Two like poles repel each other and two unlike poles attract each other. Correct? Another thing you have to remember is that isolated poles do not exist. The first, second, and this is the third property. And the fourth property is isolated poles do not exist. Fine. What does it mean? It means that suppose if I take a bar magnet, this is the north pole and this is the south pole, and I cut this bar magnet parallel to its length. I cut this bar magnet parallel to its length from the mid. Okay. Then it is separated. So it gets separated into two parts. One is the upper half and the second one is the lower half. As soon as it is cut into two parts, it acquires north pole and south pole on both the parts. Now in this case, when it is cut parallel to its length, the magnetic strength of the magnet, of the two halves of the magnet, reduced to half. The magnetic strength of upper half and lower half both are equal to half of the magnetic strength of the original magnet. Fine. Now, if the bar magnet is cut perpendicular to its length, perpendicular to its longer length, fine, perpendicular like this, then it is again separated into two halves, right portion and the left portion. Again it automatically acquires north pole and south pole like this, and north and south like this. Fine. Now in this case, the magnetic strength of these two magnets will be equal to the magnetic strength of the original magnet. So in this case, when it is cut perpendicular, magnetic strength remains same, whereas when it is cut parallel to the longer length, the magnetic strength is reduced to half. Alright, so isolated poles do not exist, means single pole is not possible. If you think that if we cut a magnet, then the only north pole exists, only south pole exists, no, they automatically acquire the poles in pair. So poles always exist in pair, not south, not isolated. After